Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is February 16th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see our latest version of the cloud shield hanging out here just to the west of Vancouver Island across western Washington. Mount Rainier right on the cusp of it here. Some nice sunny skies off to the north. You can see the snow-capped mountains out there, and we've got a pretty powerful pressure gradient across the Cascades here. Typical areas that get the east winds are going to be targeted here again as we go through tonight, especially. These winds are going to be picking up during the day. Some gusty east winds through the Strait of Juan de Fuca. And then we'll take a look at what these systems are going to do off the Pacific Ocean here, and we'll take a look at the extended forecast. Looks a little bit interesting here as well as we go through the video here today. Take a look here. Lowest forecast wind chills. Pretty darn right cold. If you are headed out into Montana or Wyoming, for example, Yellowstone, eastbound across I-90, it is going to get very chilly out there. And yeah, it already is actually. But yeah, the wind chills are pretty darn right low. This is going to be a shock to your system if you are traveling off to the east and you are not prepared for it. Wind advisory. This goes from right now basically all the way on through tomorrow afternoon. You can see some gusts 45 to 50. And no doubt going to be locally stronger here through the gorge, which is typical there. Avoid some of the forested areas. You don't want any of those branches or trees coming down on you. And there are some power outages possible. We got high wind warnings here for the East Puget Sound lowlands, Cascade foothills, especially along the I-90 corridor near North Bend southward to Enumclaw. So it can, again, this can be kind of a shock to the system as you're driving on I-90 and things are relatively calm. Then all of a sudden you hit these just monster winds out of the east here. And depending on how you're aligned with I-90 and those east winds, it can create kind of a nasty crosswind. And this strongest area of gusts are going to be down towards Enumclaw, Black Diamond, and again, it's going to include North Bend here, and Gold Bar is also under the high wind warning as well. This goes all the way in through tomorrow morning, and these winds are going to be picking up as we go through the day today, and especially strong as we go through this evening and tonight. Some gusts I wouldn't be surprised that exceed 60 miles per hour. This is a wider scale view of things here. That deep low out over the Pacific, the strong high over Montana is helping with that pressure gradient, the cross cascade flow. You can see some of that high pressure there. So that's what's going to be driving those strong east winds. Kind of a closer look of it here as well. You can see the North American model. The low pressure would be out here and the high pressure across Montana. You can see high pressure there and the powerful gradient across the Cascades as we go through tonight. This is looking at the North American model. So here we are going through this morning, already getting some gusty winds there out across Enumclaw. Storm spotters send me video out there, already getting gusty. And you can see this does pick up as we go through the afternoon hours here. Check it out. As we go through this evening, continues to ramp up here, probably peaking sometime after dark tonight. The gorge is going to be howling too, and across some of the higher terrain, all the way down through the Oregon Cascades, Washington Cascades, up towards Gold Bar. Typical areas where you get that east wind are going to be roaring here as we go through tonight, all the way through midnight, going into Saturday morning. Still strong winds ongoing, strong easterly winds down the Strait of Juan de Fuca. As you can see, this entire flow moving out over the Pacific Ocean. Strong northeast wind across eastern Washington could even cause some local blowing dust issues, eastern Oregon as well. So heads up for that. And so we keep scrolling ahead on into Saturday. It's about 10 a.m. here. 11, 12. You can see it's starting to relax a bit, but still quite strong out there. If you're going on I-90, you're going to run into some of those gusty winds anytime today on in through tomorrow afternoon. And then you can see we gradually start to relax that as we go through tomorrow night, finally. And then as we go into Sunday morning, that gradient should be completely relaxed here and almost like it never happened. We may get another bump though in the easterly winds on Monday morning, but not as strong as what we're going to get tonight. Now, taking a look at 925 millibars, I just want to show you the upper level pattern here. And you can kind of see that deep low out there, kind of pulling these powerful winds through the Cascades all the way out into the ocean there. So just kind of a quick look at things there. We'll look at that frontal system here in a moment. But looking at accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts, if we scroll through here, the North American model has been showing stronger gusts, and it shows it mainly occurring sometime this evening through late tonight, showing some gusts up towards 70. The much more manageable gusts into the upper 50s, maybe near 60 miles per hour. And some of that's trying to reach out towards SeaTac as well. And even if that doesn't get down to the surface, these gusty east winds here can play havoc with some of the air traffic control out there and actually can cause some delays and whatnot too. But yeah, heads up if you were out there in Black Diamond, Enumclaw, North Bend area, Gold Bar, you guys know the drill wherever you live out there. Hopefully, if you're getting these east winds, kind of remember that for future reference as well. Now, taking a look here, if you want a nice affordable home weather station, especially if you are in a unique location out in those east wind areas, this makes it much more fun to watch these systems roll in. Smartphone app updates every 3 seconds, built its own forecast for you. Click on that link down below to save 10%. So here we go. This is where we are right about now. Some of that light precip may be still out there across some of Oregon, better across Idaho, but this will be wrapping up as we go through the day today, pushing off across Wyoming. Then we got this next frontal system. It looks a little bit sinister here, but it will be falling apart as it moves into Washington. Better chances across Oregon, but still not great. The bulk of this energy headed into California, but we will definitely take what kind of snow we can get as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Then this starts to spread up across the Oregon Cascades into Washington as we go through Sunday morning. Maybe some rainfall for Portland and Seattle as we go through early Sunday through the afternoon hours here. But again, the main storm is going to be impacting California, and expect some snowfall. When is that about? As we go on in through very early Sunday morning here across eastern Oregon, some of Idaho getting some snowfall out of this as well, moving up across the Panhandle and western Montana before that tails off on into early Monday morning. And then this system that is spinning off the coastline of California looks like it's going to be spreading some moisture northward across the Oregon Cascades again. So hopefully we can tease a few inches out of that one as well. Cross your fingers. We'll look at the National Blend of Models right now. This is total snow in inches. So here we go. This is going into Monday morning. You can see it does drop a few inches here, but it's not great looking. We're now out towards 200 hours here, and you can see not much new snow across the mountains. But I have a feeling we might overperform here with that system off the coastline. It's bound to spread some moisture at least, and you can kind of see that reflected a little bit here. So cross your fingers for that. And then as we go off through the extended forecast, we may get some cooler air down in here, a northwest flow, and maybe do some mountain snowpack building. No promises just yet. We'll take a look at that extended forecast here in a moment. Actually, let's start doing that now. This is last night's European run. This is the ensemble mean. This is the average of all 50 ensemble members, and our system that's wrapping up here. Now we've got the strong east winds ongoing today with the deep low out over the Pacific. Storm track mainly pointed at California, but hopefully we can get some wraparound moisture from that, spreading northward. And then we look off to the extended. So we're going all the way on in through next week. This will be Thursday afternoon. And you can kind of see this trough start to get going by the time we get towards next weekend. And, you got to use caution with that because we're looking 9 days out basically at this point. But you can see the models have been showing this. I've been showing this the last couple of days as well. That ridge out over the Pacific Ocean, northwest flow, troughing here across Western Canada, down into the west coast of North America. So cross your fingers for that one. It looks promising in this time range, but it can really flip on a dime at this time range as well. So we're kind of looking out into the crystal ball here, still a fantasy forecast. If we look at the European ensemble mean, I also like to show this the 500 millibars. So the last one I was showing you has the anomaly overlaid here. You can kind of see the ridging ongoing right now, and then you see that low pressure center. It's going to be impacting California here. Then we get a bit of a break, and then that troughing tries to set up through the extended forecast. But again, that's 10 days out right now. It is still just a fantasy forecast. Now, looking at the GFS on the left versus GFS on the right, we're comparing it versus itself. So I want to show you some of the model consistency we are having as we go off into the extended. There's California storm, hopefully spread some moisture northbound. And then we start to look out towards the end of the following week here. Let's see, does it show that troughing? It does. Backed off maybe a little, but still not too bad. I mean, that's still a pretty good signal. And the ensemble runs are showing it run to run. But still, it's a ways out there. So you got to take it with a grain of salt at this point. We'll continue to watch that. Just something fun for us to watch right now. Purely fantasy. Do not get heartbroken if it gets taken away, because it would be a nice snowmaker probably for the mountains, if nothing else. But yeah, we'll continue to watch that as we go. Here's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. And I brought up the 8 to 14 day here. You've got the near normal. They're not kind of biting on it just yet in the Climate Prediction Center. So we'll be watching this over the next few days. We'll see if we start to introduce the below average chances here across the Pacific Northwest. Risk heavy precipitation that kind of comes with that trough potentially setting up. This goes to the end of the month, and this is the risk for heavy snow, which would include BC here. But again, this is a fantasy forecast right now, and high winds maybe it would accompany that also. But yeah, heads up if you are out in the East Puget Sound lowlands, in the Gap areas where you typically get those gusty winds here, you already probably feel them starting, and it's just going to pick up as we go through tonight, probably peaking sometime right around midnight here as we go through tonight. And again, the gorge is going to be howling. Some of the higher peaks up and down the Washington Cascades. If you're off in the backcountry there, you're going to feel that east wind. And don't sleep on those northeast winds across the eastern Washington as well. It could kick us some blowing dust as well. But yeah, hopefully we can get some snow from those systems in the meantime. Then maybe that trough will come to fruition as we go on in through the 10+ day period towards the end of February. No promises on that. Again, just a fantasy forecast. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow. I actually may be out chasing this tonight. I may go out there and take a look at some of those gusty winds. If I do, I will try to set up a live stream with that as well. So hopefully you can join me for that. But anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.